শেখ হাসিনার বাংলাদেশ। আমরা এখন ব্যাপকভাবে জোর দিচ্ছি মানসম্মত শিক্ষা এবং কারিগরি শিক্ষার উপরে। আমরা যেমন বলি, শিক্ষা নিয়ে গর্ব দেশ, শেখ হাসিনার বাংলাদেশ। আমরা এখন ব্যাপকভাবে জোর দিচ্ছি মানসম্মত শিক্ষা এবং কারিগরি শিক্ষার উপরে। আমরা যেমন বলি, শিক্ষা নিয়ে গর্ব দেশ, শেখ হাসিনার বাংলাদেশ।
Dear students, today we are going to learn about infinitives. First, we have the question, what is an infinitive? An infinitive actually is the basic form of the verb. What is the basic form of the verb? Say we know the verbs go, want, read, talk. All these are basic forms of the verbs. But in English, infinitives appear in two forms. They go with the word to. So to go, to work, to sleep. This become to infinitive. And infinitives can also go without to. Then we call it bare infinitive. Now let us see how infinitives work. In your book here, in Unit 3, the chapter is called Infinitives. There is a passage. We will read the passage, and from this passage, you will try to identify which verbs are giving you the infinitives and which are not. Nahid is a boy of a village farmer. His father wants him to become a doctor to serve the people in distress. Every day Nahid goes to school early to sit on the front bench. Once he heard his teacher say in the class, to serve man is to please God, to love man is to love God. Let us just consider these few sentences which we have read from this passage. First of all, you see, Nahid is a boy of a village farmer. There is no verb in the basic form. So this sentence does not have an infinitive. But look at the second sentence. His father wants him to become a doctor to serve the people in distress. Now the verbs are want becomes wants, to become is another verb, to serve is also another verb. There are three verbs. Look at them again. Wants, to become, and to serve. Now the difference between the first verb and the later two is that in the first verb, wants is wants because his father is appearing in the simple sentence and in the singular number. In English, the singular number takes S or ES in the verb, in the simple present form. So therefore his father wants, want has become wants. But look at the second verb, to become, it is to become. Therefore to become is giving you the to infinitive. And also to become a doctor, to serve is another verb, but it is also to serve. It means to serve is an infinitive. So how do you understand the difference between a verb that is changing with the time and the person and a verb that remains neutral to time and person? Let us explain this. You see, his father is, as we have said, is appearing as a singular noun in the simple present form. So therefore his father want becomes wants. Okay, if we say his brothers, then it will become want. If we say his father is wanting, then it will become present participle. In this way, the verb which is not an infinitive, it will change with the change in the person and with the change in the tense. But the verb which is a to infinitive, it will not change with time and person. See, his father wants him to become a doctor. His father wanted him to become a doctor. His mother and his father wanted him to become a doctor, or they are wanting him to become a doctor. Every time the first verb is changing with the change in the person and with the change in the time too. But the next verb is never changing with the change in time and in person. So therefore, to infinitive remains neutral to the changing in time and the changing in person. This is how you should understand to infinitive. That is, time and person, they don't have any influence on the verb that works as to infinitive. Now look at this sentence. To love is to love God. Wherever the time or person is, you have to say to love man is to love God. So here to love is an infinitive. To love God is also an infinitive. But again, look at the next section of the passage. He does not read to learn by rote. By rote means mukhosto kara. He does not read to learn by rote. Here again you find two verbs, read and learn. But read will change with the change in the subject or with the change in the tense. But to learn will not change. So to learn will give you the to infinitive, but read is a verb that is not an infinitive. So you see, he does not read to learn by rote. If you change the person from he to plural, then you have to say they do not read to learn by rote, does become do. Or if you say he reads to learn by rote, or they are not reading to learn by rote, every time read is changing, but to learn is not changing. So to infinitive is that verb which does not change with time and person. But sometimes to infinitives can become without to. It happens in this sentence. Just look at this sentence here. But his father does not let him work. This sentence appears, 3 lines above the bottom of the passage. But his father does not let him work. So you see here, but his father does not let. Let is not an infinitive verb, but let him work. Work becomes an infinitive without to. So therefore, work is bare infinitive. The verb which is an infinitive without to is called a bare infinitive. Bare means simple infinitive. So in this way, we can understand the infinitives or their functions. As we have said, infinitives, remember, infinitives are different from regular verbs in the sense that they have not been influenced by the change in time or in place or in person. Now, here there is a question answer. Which sentence in the passage is without any infinitive? If you want to find the answer from this passage, you see that the first sentence is without any infinitive. Nahid is a boy of a village farmer. There is no infinitive here. So now here your exercise shows how infinitives can work. Simple or noun infinitive is used as subject of a verb. Now to are is human. Is the verb. But to are is an infinitive, but at the same time it is the subject of the sentence. So to love God. Here to love is the subject of God. So in this way you see there are again object of a verb. He likes to swim. Let us go to this. How infinitives modify others. Look at this. How it can modify an adjective. The old man is too weak to walk. So weak is an adjective that is being modified by to work. I am glad to receive your letter. Glad is the adjective which is changing to receive. So in this way infinitives can affect verb, noun, adverb and sentence. Now there are at the bottom of the page, there are some verbs after which to is never to be used. Let, make, need, hear, watch, see, dare, and there are many more verbs. After these verbs, you cannot use to. Look at this.
I saw him go home. You cannot say I saw him to go home, because after see you don't use to. Let him come. Never say let him to come. So let is the first verb, come is the second verb, but let is omitting to. So therefore come is a bare infinitive. So in this way you understand that infinitive, when it appears without to, it is called bare infinitive. But in both cases, whether it is bare infinitive or to infinitive, you have to remember that time and place or person cannot influence them. Then here in the passive voice also, beautiful example is given. He was seen to go. He was made to do it. He was hard to say this. These three sentences have come in passive sentence. He was seen, but to go is the infinitive. He was made to do it. To do is the infinitive. Then infinitives can also appear in perfect tense and also in split infinitives. Perfect tense, we know that perfect tense is I have gone, he has gone, like that. And here you can use it in the infinitive form. I wish to have gone there. He seems to have seen better days. They are reported to have done this. So here I just make it clear. I wish to have gone there. It is in the past tense. You can also say, I will wish to have gone there. It will be in the future tense. But whatever change is taking place, that is taking place with the first verb. The second infinitive, to have gone, remains to have gone. So that is why to have gone is giving you the perfect infinitive. Exercise, the headmaster advised me, then dash, study regularly. We can say, the headmaster advised me to study regularly. So to study is giving you the to infinitive. Then here you can see, he need not do whatever he likes. Here you cannot give any to, because need is a verb that does not allow to. But after need, you can use the verb in the bare infinitive. So he need not do. Do therefore is a bare infinitive, but in the first case to study is a to infinitive. Introduction was very brief. You understand that by infinitives we understand the sentences, the words which do not have any connection with tense or person. Thank you very much. Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study participles. Now the question, what is a participle? A participle actually is a verb that works in a compound tense, and it is often considered as an adjective. In English, we find two types of participles: present participle that ends with ing and past participle that ends with ed. Let's see. Say for example, let us take any verb, work. So working will become a present participle in a sentence, working hour. Here working is the adjective for hour, but since it is an ing, therefore it is a present participle. Then for example, you can say tired batsman. When a batsman is tired, then tired becomes an adjective for the batsman, but it is in the past participle because tiring, tired. So let us see, to understand this more, let us read the passage given in the text. The passage goes like this: people drinking arsenic polluted water for long may get arsenicosis. Arsenicosis is the name of a disease contracted from polluted water. I have said polluted water. So water which has been polluted is polluted water. You see, pollute is a verb. Pollution is the noun. So when water gets polluted, it becomes polluted water. So from the verb, it becomes an adjective for the noun water. So polluted water is an example of participle in the past participle. That is, it is a past participle example. Then look at this. People drinking arsenic polluted water. What kind of water is this? Collected is not a participle here, because it is not functioning as an adjective for any noun. Again, preserved is not a participle here. So collected and preserved, or have collected and have preserved, they are just verbs. Verbs in the perfect tense. Now, look at this, the last sentence. However, there is a scarcity of pure water, and we must know what the water purifying means. So, water purifying, you see, water purifying, you can say the purified water. Water purifying can become purified water, and it will give you an example of participle in the perfect sense. So, basically, therefore, participle works as an adjective. Look at this, this sentence. He is a child. Okay? The child is crying. There is no participle here. But he is a crying child. So, from the previous sentence where the child is crying, crying was merely a present participle verb, it becomes the child, he is a crying child. So, crying child, therefore, crying is giving you the participle in the present form, and child is coming as the noun. So, for example, Brian Lara, for example, or let us say Virat Kohli or Chris Gayle. Chris Gayle is a brilliant batsman, okay? And Chris Gayle is a big hitting batsman. Hitting is becoming the present participle for batsman. In this way, you can understand how participles work both in present form and in the perfect form. Now, the famous one, a rolling stone gathers no moss. The stone which is rolling. So, the verb is here, but the verb is converted into an adjective for a stone. So, basically, participle is a verb that is turned into an adjective. That is how we should understand it. I found the boy standing means the standing boy. You see, the standing door means the door is standing, like that. Okay, the house is building. You can say it is a built house. So, built becomes the participle for, perfect participle for house. Now, look at this example. A burnt child dreads the fire, which means a child who has been burnt in fire, he is afraid of fire. So, a burnt child means the child was burnt by the fire. Here we get burnt as the participle, but it is in the passive form. So, participles can therefore occur both in the active form and also in the passive form. But the condition is that the verb has to be used as an adjective. So, all participles basically are adjectives with ing or with ed. They look like verbs, but they are not verbs. Now, here another one is coming. It is in the perfect participle. Having reached home, he went straight to his mother. So, having reached home is giving us the perfect participle here. Now, having reached home, he went straight to his mother. In this construction, you have to remember that two actions are taking place. But the one which is starting with having must have taken place earlier. He went straight to his mother is occurring after the first clause. Having read the book, he gave it to me. It means after reading the book, he gave it to me. So, having therefore, having coming as a participle with the verb having read, having seen, having been, these are also wonderful constructions. When your English will be developed, you will know how to use a sentence with having gone there. For example, you can say, having gone to the stadium, I was disappointed because Brian Lara got out in the first over. So, you can also say things like that. Now, here in on page 24, you have an example with blanks, and all these blanks are to be filled up by words appearing in the box. Okay, it's not very difficult. Just see reaching, ringing, being, all these verbs are here, and try to fill them up with in the sentences. So, I am doing it for you. Before reaching the school, he heard the final bell. So, you have to say final bell ringing. After reaching school, he found the gate closed. So, closed again is a participle. So he could not enter the class taken by the class teacher. Means the class which was taken by the class teacher, you can say it as taken by the class teacher. Join the following pairs of sentences by using participles. There are two sentences. I saw the old man, first sentence. The second sentence, he was walking. You can join them by omitting the pronominal clause. I saw the old man walking, means I saw the old man who was walking. So this is called in English grammar omission clause, clauses of omission. That is, you drop some words in order to connect two sentences. I saw the old man, he was walking. I saw the old man walking. Again, I put some tea dust in the boiling water. The water was boiling then. So the water was boiling then. Just, you see, simplify this sentence by using the word boiling before the word water in the first sentence. So I put some tea dust in the water. The water was boiling then. You can say, I put some tea dust in the boiling water. Again, another one. Give me some paper, I want to write. Give me some paper, first sentence, I want to write, second sentence. Simply just say, give me some paper to write. So this also gives you the joining participles. Now this one here, the last exercise. We found the children playing in the garden. Playing is a present participle because we found the children who were playing in the garden. So ing verb is giving you the children who were playing. That is the playing children. The house dash 50 years ago still looks beautiful. That is, the house built 50 years ago still looks beautiful. So in this way, you see, look at the dashboards. Look at the dashboards. You can say, look at the flying birds. Okay, so basically you see the verb, when it loses its status as a verb and becomes a qualifier for the noun, it turns into a participle. It turns into a present participle in the case of ing. It turns into a past participle in the case of ed verb. So that is how we have to understand participles. I hope you will understand this more by reading books. Thank you very much.
Good morning, dear students. Today our lesson is gerund. What is a gerund? Gerund is a noun in the present participle form. In our lesson on participles, we learned that present participles can be used as adjective, like a crying child, a tired boy, ed is there. But in gerund, you see, the ing is used, but it becomes a noun. For example, take this example from here. Walk, as you know, walk is a verb. To walk in the morning is good. Walk is still a verb here, to infinitive. You have already learnt about to infinitive. But when you try to say, I am walking in the garden, it is walking in the present participle form. It is still a verb. But when you use this walking as the name of an action, then it becomes a noun. But it looks like a verb in the present participle. Look at this sentence. Walking is a good exercise. Here walking is not anymore the verb in the present participle or in the present continuous tense. Walking is a noun. But since it looks like a verb in the ing, it is therefore called gerund. So gerund is a noun with spellings that have ing with them. But it is always a noun. And all gerundive nouns are singular in number. So walking is a good exercise. Reading is a good exercise. In this way, remember that all gerunds are singular in number. Now, in your passage here, it is given like this. Learning is a continuous process. So learning is the name of an action. What is the action here? To learn. To learn becomes learning, and therefore it is the noun, but it is a gerund. So a gerund therefore is a noun with ing spelling. Now, learning a language depends on a process based on language skills which are interesting. So you see, which are interesting is not a gerund because it is verb in the
present continuous form. Now look at this. We follow different ways to learn. We learn by listening. So listening is the name of an action. Therefore, it is a gerund. We learn by speaking. Speaking is a gerund. We learn by reading. Reading is a gerund. And we learn by writing. Writing is a gerund. So these four skills in English: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. These four major skills in English all appear in gerundive forms. So you have to practice four skills for learning. For learning, therefore learning is the name of an action, therefore it is a gerund. And here you get for is a preposition. You know that preposition is followed by a noun or a pronoun. Say, for example, I want to go to New Market. New Market is the noun, to is the preposition for noun. So you can say, I have a liking for fishing. Fishing is a gerund, but fishing here refers to the act of catching fish. So for is a preposition. A gerund can be preceded by a preposition, as much as any regular noun can be preceded by a preposition. So this is one thing. Now, functions of the gerund. Gerund as the subject. We have already discussed it. Reading books is a good habit. Reading is a good habit. Reading books is a good habit also gives you the gerund. Or it can become the object of a verb. Stop writing. Stop is the verb. Writing is the object for the verb stop. He learns drawing. Drawing is the object of the verb learns. So in this way, he is fond of riding. He is fond of riding a horse. So riding therefore is a gerund and it is coming after the preposition of. Now look at this one. I am thinking of going there. Here I am thinking is not the gerund. It is the present continuous tense of think. But of going, going is the gerund. So in the same sentence there are two ing spelled words. One is a gerund and the other one is not. My hobby is reading. My hobby is flying kite. So remember that when the verb is not functioning as a present continuous tense or a present participle adjective, then it must be a gerund and it will be a noun. There are certain sentences here. We have already read about two infinitives. So we know that two infinitives are those verbs which are preceded by two. So all two infinitives can be changed into gerunds. Look at this. To tell a lie is a great sin. So you can change to tell infinitive into a gerund by saying telling a lie is a great sin. So telling is the gerund. It is the noun. Now I like to eat vegetables. I can say eating vegetables is what I like. So eating therefore becomes the gerund. Now there is a room to live in. To live is to infinitive, but I can change it into a gerund by saying this is a room for living in. The for preposition comes and live becomes living. His hobby is to travel. Very easy. To travel, just change it into traveling and you will get the noun. His hobby is traveling. So this is wonderful exercise here. His hobby is to travel. To travel is the verb with infinitive to, but you can say his hobby is traveling and the noun is coming. To steal is a sin. To steal is a sin. Churi kora mohapap. So stealing is a sin. Stealing is a great sin, mohapap. Now here you find this. It is essential to speak English to have fluency. So you can say it is essential to speak English to have fluency. You can say speaking English is essential to grow fluency. So speaking English, therefore here you get the speaking as the gerund. To plant a sapling is everybody's responsibility. Now planting a sapling. Sapling means the small child plant. So to plant becomes planting. So I mean there is always this option open for you either to use the to infinitive or turn it into a gerund, and it will give you the same result. Only thing is that from the verb it will be changed into a noun. Now this exercise is done for you. You cannot learn English without dash the 4 language skills. So whatever you see, without is a preposition, and after a preposition the noun must be a gerund. You also remember this. All prepositions are followed by the nouns in the gerund if they are not proper nouns. Say for example, you can say I have great desire for a house. But if you want to use buy, then it will become buying. I have great desire for buying a house. So here you see, you cannot learn English without dash the 4 language skills. What are the 4 language skills? Listening, speaking, and reading and writing. But without what? Without acquiring or without learning. So without is the preposition. Acquire, this verb becomes acquiring, therefore it becomes a gerund, means it is a noun. Or without learn becomes learning, learning becomes a gerund, which is a noun. So gerund therefore is equivalent to a noun, but gerund has the ing spelling. Unless you practice the skills, you cannot succeed in any foreign language. You cannot succeed in, you cannot say in speak. You have to say in speaking, because in is a preposition, and after that speak will become speaking. So from this chapter on gerund, we have learned that gerund must have the ing spellings, and all gerunds are singular in number, and that gerund is or should be used after a preposition or can be used after a preposition. And another thing, gerund is different from present participle in the sense that in the present participle there is a continuous sense, like Lara is playing well today. It is not a gerund, but playing against Lara is difficult. Playing therefore is a gerund here. And again, present participle, as you know, present participle is used as an adjective, as we have said earlier. A child is crying. Here is crying is a present continuous tense verb, but a crying child, crying becomes the present participle adjective for the child. Okay, but crying is unnecessary, then crying becomes the gerund. So in this way, you see the interconnections between present participles and then present participle adjectives and gerund. All of them have ing in their spellings, but their functions are different. So students, that is how you have to understand the difference between gerund and other similar things. That is how we have ended our class today, and thank you very much. I hope you will go home today with a satisfied mind, because you have now learnt all secrets about gerund. Thank you very much once again. Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss something very interesting, which in your book, Unit 9, is titled as linking words. Linking words, like bridging words. You know what is the function of a bridge? To connect a part of the road with another part of the road. Similarly, can you see this elbow here? What is the function of this elbow? To connect the 2 parts of the hand, the arm and the lower hand. These 2 parts are connected with the elbow. Linking words are like elbows. Okay, let us see which linking words do you already know. One very common linking word that you know is and, abong. Here in your book, the first sentence begins with that and. Nadim and Naeem are 2 brothers. And therefore is conjoining, that is connecting the 2 brothers, Nadim and Naeem. They are connected with blood, but in English grammar, they are connected not with blood, but with the word and. So therefore, and is a conjunction. Similarly, there is a comparative sentence coming up. Naeem is younger than Nadeem. So this is a comparative sentence, but one brother is younger than another brother. So then, therefore, THAN is a connective word or connecting word, and therefore it is a conjunction. Now, be very careful about the spellings of than. When than is used as a conjunction, the spelling is THAN. But when than is used as time adverb, then the spelling is THEN. Then. Remember this difference. Now, their father, who works as a teacher, is a simple man. You know, in our sentence structures, we learned that a complex sentence is formed with a subclause and an independent clause. Here you find the same thing. Their father, who works as a teacher, who works as a teacher is a subclause. So therefore, it is coming with the relative pronoun who. So when there is a relative pronoun coming in a sentence, it is also a conjunction or it is a linking word. In English, it is not a conjunction officially, it is a linking word. So linking words therefore are and, both, than, and all other words that introduce a subclause, they are all considered as linking words. After, because, so, all these adverbs, the adverbs which connect between two sentences, two clauses, they are all linking words. Let us see. The first linking word here given as an example is that. I am glad that you have passed. It means there are two sentences. I am glad and you have passed. But you are connecting these two sentences with the linking word that. I am glad that you have passed. That is also considered as a demonstrative pronoun. Then he knows that you will come again. Who is the man that can do it? So in this way, that is a demonstrative pronoun, means that is indicating something else. So therefore, that is a linking word that act as a conjunction between a subclause and a main clause. Then the WH pronouns, who, which, and what. I know the man who came here. It means I know the man came here. When you connect these two sentences with a relative pronoun, you can say, I know the man who came here. I know the man again is an independent clause, and who came here is a subclause. So this is therefore a complex sentence. Basically, actually, all linking words except for and then, all linking words are falling into the group called complex sentences, because they are always connecting the independent clause with the subclause, or in time reference, one time level with another time level. Now, how, where, when, while. He wanted to know how I would go. He wanted to know how I would go. Here, students, one thing you should remember. He wanted to know how I would go, not how would I go. Because how I would go is an assertive sentence, I would go. And he wanted to know another assertive sentence. So when two assertive sentences are connected together with the linking word how, you should remember that it is how I would go there. That is, the reversal between verb and between the auxiliary verb and the main verb will not occur. Then before and after, they had reached home before the train started. They had reached home before the train started, or we returned home after the sun had set. You remember in our discussion on adverbs, we said that before comes with the simple past tense and after comes with the past perfect tense. Remember that. After they had gone there, we went home, or we went home before they came here, like that. And then another linking words that you find here, as, because, as he was ill, he did not attend school, or he did not attend school because he was ill. Now, when as begins the sentence, it is a subordinate clause, so you need a comma before the main clause begins. as he was ill, comma, he did not go to school. But he did not go to school because he was ill. Here you don't need any comma here. And another confusion that might arise in your practice of English is that when because is a linking word, then it must be followed by a clause where there should be a subject and a verb. Say, for example, I did not come to office because I was ill. Or Rahim did not write the letter because he did not have time. So, because is followed by the clause he, subject, and did not is the verb. But sometimes you see students, you get confused when you see because of. When because is followed by the preposition of, then the clause cannot take place. It should be a noun, because all prepositions like of, they must be followed by a noun. So again, look at this difference between these two sentences. He did not go to school because he was ill. So because is followed by he, subject, and was verb. But he did not go to school because of illness. Illness is the noun because of is coming. Now, both and, remember that when the word both is used, it must be followed by and. So, look at this sentence. Rabindranath was both a poet and a dramatist. Say, both Shakib and Mustafizur succeeded in the last match. So, both Shakib, then and, you have to use and. Sometimes I find the students using to in place of and. Don't do that. Both must take and both must have two entities. You have this either or. Either Rahim or Karim came. Again, either Rahim or Karim came, because either is connecting between Rahim and Karim. So therefore, they are the linking words. In our time, we used to call them adverbials, but that practice is now gone. It is now being replaced by linking, the word linking. Whoever you may be, I do not care for you. Whoever you may be. So whoever is a linking word. That is, you may be somebody. And the next sentence is, I do not care for you. And when these two sentences connected together, you have to say, whoever you may be, I do not care for you. Then there is another very common linking word, since and for. Okay, since. When since is used as a time direction, you have to remember that the beginning point of time must be mentioned. Okay? So, for example, since he is not coming, I will not go. Here, since is connecting between he is not coming and you are not going. And again, since you are ill, you cannot go there. Since is used here as a linking verb. But again, when you use since with the time direction, you have to remember, as I said, to begin it with the specificity of time. Say, for example, I have been playing cricket since 2005. 2005 must be there. But if you want to replace it with for, you have to say, I have been playing cricket for 11 years. So when it is for, the beginning point of time is not necessary. But when it is since, the beginning point of time should be mentioned. Then the other linking words are so that he is so weak that he cannot walk. Sometimes we call it a causative sentence. That is one cause leading to the result. Why he cannot walk? Because he is very weak. So he is so weak that he cannot walk. Or he is so bold that he did not wait to challenge his teacher. Or he was so courageous that he killed all his enemies. So here, so is the cause, and that is giving you the result. Another one is but for. But for means exception. But for your help, I would not have been successful. That is, if you had not helped me, I would not have been successful. So in this way, all these adverbials, students, are used as linking words. Now here is an example exercise for you. We will just do it quickly because it's very easy even. We found dash the boys were dining. It means we found that the boys were dining. Dash he was ill, he did not come. As he was ill, he did not come. So as is the linking word. Now dash he is old, he will not lift it. Since, you can say since he is old, he will not lift it. Or you can say he is old and therefore he cannot lift it. There are other options too. Now dash father came home, we started reading. You can say when father came home, we started reading. I give you one example. I saw the boys, they are playing. Two sentences. So I saw the boys who are playing. With who we can connect these two sentences, and who therefore is a linking word here. Then he is ill, stop, he will not come. As he is ill, he will not come. So in this way, you have passed, I am happy. How do you connect it? I am happy that you have passed. So I think your knowledge about linking words has become better by attending this class. Thank you, students. Go back home, work hard, you will be successful in life. Good day, dear students. Today we are going to discuss one of the most exciting aspects of English grammar, preposition. Preposition, pre means before, position means locality or situation. The prepositions are a part of speech that gives us a sense of direction about the action in a sentence. Prepositions are very small words, but they are very vital, very functional in making sense clear. Say you always are familiar with the words like to, in, with, words like this. These are prepositions. And how do they function in a sentence? Let us see. For example, your friend might tell you, I am going to New Market. Where is he going? He is going to New Market. So to, therefore, is giving you the sense of direction your friend is taking. He is going to New Market. To is a very small word here, but it is important for giving us the direction that the action is taking. Now look at these two sentences. I can say the cat is sitting dash the table, or I can say the cat is sitting dash the table. Now this dash can be filled up by a preposition. If you say the cat is sitting on the table, it means the cat is sitting on the table. On, therefore, is a small word, but it is a preposition. It is showing us the relationship between the cat and the rest of the sentences. But I can also say the cat is sitting under the table. It means where is the cat sitting? The cat is sitting under the table. So these two words, on and under, are giving us about where the cat actually is being placed. So therefore, in English, prepositions are very important to understand how the verbs and the nouns and the pronouns have to be linked with each other. For example, you can see an aeroplane flying in the sky. So in is therefore a preposition. The plane is flying over your head. Over is a preposition. And prepositions always qualify a noun or a pronoun. If the preposition is not there before a noun, you will not understand where actually the action is taking place. If I say the plane, then I don't say anything, the plane, the sky. You won't understand anything. The plane is flying in the sky. So in your book here, there is a small paragraph for you just to make you familiar with the idea of prepositions. Saeed lives at Shahid Bagh. So Shahid Bagh is the name of the place, and Shahid is living. Where is he living? He is living at Shahid Bagh. So Shahid Bagh therefore is the place that is taking the preposition at. In Dhaka. Where? In Dhaka. Now what is the difference between at and in? At is a more particular specification. Like he is living in an area, specifically in the city of Dhaka. So Dhaka city is very big. You cannot live at Dhaka. You have to live in Dhaka. You are living in Dhaka. So that is how the prepositions sometimes make you clear about the relationship between the noun or the pronoun with the rest of the sentences. He goes to school. So school is the noun, therefore to is a preposition here. You remember our lecture on two infinitives? There the word to, it preceded a verb, to go, to write. That to is not a preposition. That to is an infinitive. But when you use to before a noun, then it becomes a preposition. Look at the sentence. I like to swim. Here to swim is to infinitive. But I am going to swimming. Swimming is a gerund. Therefore, to is a preposition here. So, to as a preposition can be used before a noun or before a gerund. Then here, in this sentence paragraph, you also find sentence. He starts from home at 7:30 a.m. I go to school by rickshaw, from, by, under, all these are prepositions. Now, your textbook gives examples of each preposition with a number of sentences. For example, the preposition, it has as many as, like 12 sentences. Just take one or two to understand. He cannot see better at a distance. Okay. The train dash full speed. You can say the train ran at full speed or in full speed. Both in and at are prepositions. Now, he bought the goods at Taka 200. At is a preposition. So in this way, by is a preposition. For example, he sent a letter by post. In the passive voice, you can say, I was given this book by my friend. So preposition by is there. Another thing, when you use prepositional phrases like preventing from, then you have to remember that that preposition must be retained in the passive form. For example, I have prevented him from going to school. আমি তাকে স্কুলে যেতে বাধা দিয়েছি. If you want to use this sentence in the passive construction, it will become, he was prevented by me from going to school. From must be retained in the passive form. Do not drop the prepositions when you are changing a sentence from an active voice into a passive voice. Then I did it by mistake. So by is the preposition, mistake is the noun. So in this way, students, you see in your text book, the examples are too many and they are very, effectively given. You just read them at home and it will become clear to you how prepositions actually work. Now, he is dash danger. We can say he is in danger. Now, if you put at in place of in, you will make a mistake. So therefore, in English, though prepositions can be used rather in a loose manner, but there is an idea called appropriate prepositions. Appropriate prepositions mean or imply that certain words have to be followed by certain prepositions. They cannot be replaced by other prepositions. One example I have already given, prevent, for example. This verb, prevent, must be followed by the preposition from. So therefore, prevent from is a prepositional phrase. You cannot say prevent at or prevent to. Prevent has to be followed by from. So when this kind of certain set prepositions go with certain set verbs, they are called prepositional phrases and they have to be respected. So appropriate preposition, you have a chapter on appropriate preposition, I know. It has occurred because of the necessity that the students must not make mistakes or confusion in using prepositions in the right places. So, for example, he lived dash luxury. তিনি বিলাসে জীবন কাটাতেন. He lived dash should be replaced by in. He lived in luxury. You cannot say he lived from luxury. Sometimes you can say he lived for luxury. বিলাসের জন্য তিনি জীবন যাপন করেছিলেন. So, my idea is that preposition, the sense of preposition can come to a student correctly if he really understands the language itself. If he grows a deep knowledge into the language, then his prepositional sense will automatically be correct. So it is a bad idea to learn prepositional words pages after pages every morning or every evening, because you will not be able to use them when the time will come. So prepositions therefore have to come to you gradually through your reading English or practicing the language English. So then on is given with certain examples. His father brought a car on hire. His father brought a car on hire. So hire means rented. On means preposition on is put before hire. He said this on oath. You know oath taking. So in English, oath, the noun is preceded by preposition on. Or you can say under oath. I am under oath. Means I have taken the oath to always speak the truth. So in these ways, you have to grow a sense of accurately using the prepositions. Now, certain differences you can make between one preposition and another preposition. Say, for example, on and above. Above means just up before you. But on means almost like touching the surface. So you can say the train is running on the track. Okay? But the train is running, say, over the river. Means there is a bridge. So over therefore implies a kind of distance which is not immediately touching the surface. But on refers to location where there is a close contact between one thing and another thing. So in this way, prepositions can also make your sense of English clear. Now the exercise here. When did your father go to Chittagong? And the word in bracket is business. So you have to answer this question with the right preposition. My father went to Chittagong on business, which means business is preceded by on. The preposition before business is always on. Why are you here? I'm here on business. Why are you here? I'm here on purpose. So on therefore is a preposition that refers to ideas which are abstract in nature, which are not tangible. Then here you see, how did he buy the television? How did he buy the television? He bought the television on credit. On credit means the money will be paid later. The prepositions therefore are an aspect or an item which is both easy and difficult. Thank you very much. Remember that prepositions can be acquired through intense reading of English in fiction, in short stories, in poems. Then your sense will grow about prepositions. Thank you once again. Dear
আমরা
students,
এখন ব্যাপকভাবে জোর দিচ্ছি মানসম্মত শিক্ষা এবং কারিগরি শিক্ষার উপরে। আমরা যেমন বলি, শিক্ষা নিয়ে গর্ব দেশ, শেখ হাসিনার বাংলাদেশ। আমরা এখন ব্যাপকভাবে জোর দিচ্ছি মানসম্মত শিক্ষা এবং কারিগরি শিক্ষার উপরে। আমরা যেমন বলি, শিক্ষা নিয়ে গর্ব দেশ, শেখ হাসিনার বাংলাদেশ।